Hey guys, Jeff here from Films at Home, and today I think I've got one of the coolest box sets that's ever been released. This is a channel exclusive for you all because I don't think anybody else has this yet. And the folks at Vinegar Syndrome were so cool. The Oscar Betcher over there, who I've interviewed twice on the podcast now, I interviewed him about this box set specifically. He hooked it up. He got this set to me like literally before it got in the hands of people at Vinegar Syndrome, which was crazy. But it gave me time to watch a few of the movies and check this out. And this is the Vinegar Syndrome Lost Picture Show Blu-ray box set. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the movies in here, give you an idea of what you can expect. I'll do an unboxing for you and give you some real close-up details on what this box set looks like, because this is the first time you're probably seeing it anywhere on the internet. And I'll give you my honest thoughts on like whether this one's worth picking up or not, and you know, the type of person who would enjoy this, because I will say, like, this set's probably not for everyone, so I want to make it clear so that the right people buy it who will enjoy it. So first up, background on this set. Essentially what it is it's 10 lost films, and these are films that have like never had VHS, DVD, Blu-ray releases. Like, they were lost. Different archivists and archives around the world, not just Vinegar Syndrome and their archive, but archivists around the world came together to put together these materials. Vinegar Syndrome and other restoration teams worked on them. They've been working on this for several years to put this all together, to restore these films to a presentation that can be enjoyed at home. It was a labor of love and effort, I'm sure, by many, many people across the Vinegar Syndrome team, other partner labels, and other partners of theirs. And it all culminated in this incredible box set that's celebrating Vinegar Syndrome's 10th anniversary. So inside this set, there are 10 movies. You've got Barbara, Las Vegas Strangler, Last American Hobos, Voodoo Heartbeat, What Love, Beware Black Widow, Deep Inside, Rare Blue Apes, Red Midnight, and Violated. And if you don't know the names of any of those and none of that sounds familiar, that's okay. They don't to me either. They don't to most people, because these were lost films. There's so much in here. There's a slasher film, there's a kids film and a musical, there's a scare film and a propaganda film, there are adult films. I mean, it runs the gamut of all different genres. It's perfectly Vinegar Syndrome in that way, where it's the weird and the macabre and the obscure, and it's just such an eclectic collection that I love diving into. So far I've watched 3 out of the 10, and I can talk about those ones and give you an idea, because I did spread out genres quite a bit. If you want some more in-depth stuff, I did that interview with Oscar. You can check out the Films at Home podcast. He's on there. He dives a little bit deeper, but I want to talk specifically about the 3 that I watched, which were Rare Blue Apes, Red Midnight, and the Las Vegas Strangler. So Rare Blue Apes is the kids film in this set, and it is an acid trip for kids. I mean, I am not one that does hallucinogenics and has ever had like a mushroom trip or an acid trip, but I imagine this is pretty close to what it would be like. This film features just insane costume practical effects. There are blue apes. There are these massive like lizard creatures. There is a musical, or there's musical moments in it that literally are stuck in my head. Bobo. It's so bizarre. It's so funny. It's so out of left field. I mean, you could watch it with kids because there's nothing in it that is like offensive or anything for kids. But boy, I imagine this is what, like, I guess LSD would feel like. It is just a trip of a movie, and it's so cool that they found it. So then I watched Red Midnight, and I watched that one because it's local to my area. I grew up in Massachusetts. I now live in New Hampshire, but I'm a New England guy, and Red Midnight was made in the 60s by an optometrist from Massachusetts, Needham, Massachusetts, who I guess just decided to start making movies. And what it is it's a scare film about a nuclear bomb going off within the United States by sort of like these shadow, secret agents within the U.S. who get their hands on, an atomic bomb and set it off and, just destroy American society. And this is a very real scare in the 50s and 60s with the Cold War And, we had just come out of World War II. These are people who literally saw one of these bombs go off multiple times. So the movie's like it's very bizarre. Some of it feels like it was shot at like the guy's vacation home or something. I mean, there are moments in there like that are definitely New England locations. I don't know if I could pick any of them out, but clearly it was like shot locally, all done locally, no big name actors or anything. But I think the guy who did the intro said it best. Within the first 5 minutes, you've got a double stabbing, you've got a mushroom cloud and a nuclear bomb and a secret agent. It's like they were sold on it after that. And it is a pretty wild story. It takes a lot of weird twists and turns. It's almost exploitation in some ways. It's very much a wacky kind of a scare film, like a propaganda film. Something like Reefer Madness almost, but for the nuclear age. So thought it was super, super interesting. And then you guys know I'm a slasher horror fan, so I went and watched The Las Vegas Strangler, which is in this set and is sort of they call it a proto-slasher. I mean, it's a slasher in the same way that like Psycho is a slasher. Like, it's not Halloween, it's not Friday the 13th, it's not just like a masked killer going after a bunch of teenagers. It's the killer in this is a little bit more methodical. It's black and white. It felt very much inspired by Psycho. It's definitely on the more adult side. There's a lot of nudity in the film. There's some pretty interesting gore considering its time period. Like, clearly would have been a movie that would have been a hard R, I think, if not like an X rating, if it ever was rated officially. I did find it to be pretty interesting. Like, the reason the guy is killing is super interesting. And I don't want to give this stuff away because and that's why I'm being kind of obscure with the way I'm talking about this. I really want you guys who buy this to like watch these blind like I did, because there's no better way to experience a lost film than just like going in completely blind. Honestly, of all three of those were all really solid for me. Like, I really enjoyed Red Midnight. I love that time period, and those scare films of that time fascinate me. Rare Blue Apes was just an acid trip for kids, and like Las Vegas Strangler was really cool to see, before Halloween, pre-Black Christmas, pre-John Carpenter Halloween, how people were kind of like, they were molding that slasher genre, and this is one of the films that did that. So that's what you can expect from this. I can't wait to dive into the other 7, but that's a little sneak preview of what I watched. Now for the box set, this thing is pretty bulky. It's got 10 films, beautiful artwork all the way around, front and back. Open it up, it's got a little magnet that connects it. You get a bifold here where you can see the films, and then you get a full 4-panel view. It's actually got some like stories and newspaper articles from some of the films. Some of the theatrical listings are in here and advertisements. And then on the inside, on each side of the case, you've got a booklet, which I have to be a little careful for YouTube to show you guys. And I have to be a little careful to show you the artwork as well, or YouTube will ban me. But you've got this nice slip cover, okay? And then on the inside, you've got your case. 5 movies in this case. They're on, I believe, 3 different discs. So some of the discs have 1 movie, some have 2 movies on them. It's all listed out on the back. And then you do get this booklet with each release. This might scare you a little bit. And this has essays and different thoughts on the film, which I thought was really interesting, because again, these are films that nobody had ever really seen. So to now get like writing on them, very cool. That was one side, and then flipping open to the other side, we've got another great slipcover here with the artwork on the inside. We've got actually some scenes here, which I also have to censor, from Las Vegas Strangler. More essays, more writing on each of the films. Very interesting deep dive if you want to go that way. And then you've got the case here, again with 3 discs, all in the nice protective disc holders. So 5 films to a side. You get that excellent Vinegar Syndrome slipcover. You get the excellent artwork. You get the booklets. It's a really beautiful set that's going to look great on your shelf. It's just super impressive what they were able to do. There's intros on all of the films, which is really cool. I saw Justin the Liberty, who was also on my podcast, did the intro for Rare Blue Apes. That was really cool to see Justin. It's such an awesome set if you want to take a deep dive into obscure cinema. There's also this incredible documentary included as a special feature on the discs called Against the Grain, and it's all about preserving films, finding lost films, the archive process. They talk to people from Kino Lorber, from Severin, from Grindhouse Releasing, of course, from Vinegar Syndrome, Oscar here in the trailer, but it's an incredible part of this package because this documentary takes an even deeper dive into the world of film archiving and film preservation, and it's such an important part of what this box set is, and I think it's well worth watching, especially if you want to appreciate the work that's going into these things even more. It's just an incredible documentary that everybody should see. And all of these are beautifully restored to the best of Vinegar Syndrome's ability. Remember, these were lost, so some scenes are going to look super rough. Some scenes are going to look better than others. There's going to be a lot of variability between transfers depending on, how things were shot. But for the most part, I mean, they're all watchable. It's not like you're watching some VHS edit that, you can barely make out people's faces. Yeah, there's going to be scratches and dirt and some weird coloring on a couple of the reels, but for the most part, pretty impressive restoration work. So who's this set for, right? I don't think this is for your average consumer. No knock against you if your favorite movie ever is like Titanic and you've only seen things that come out and do big at the box office and you've never taken a real deep dive into like the other Vinegar Syndrome catalogs or stuff that Arrow Video puts out or some of the Vinegar Syndrome partner labels. If you've never gone down that rabbit hole, I would not start here. This is sort of the bottom of the rabbit hole. This is as deep as it goes. These are lost films. These are really indie weird things that you're going to be watching. They're good, but they're something that you have to build an acquired taste for, I think. Like, if you were going to drink beer for the first time, I wouldn't give you a double IPA. These are a double IPA. I'd give you like a Belgian white. I'd give you a light beer, something easy. And then you'd work your way to the double IPA and eventually start to really enjoy it. Now, if you've been down the Vinegar Syndrome rabbit hole and you like weird films and you like obscure stuff and you want to sit down and just have an experience and see something you literally have never seen before and most people on this planet have not seen before, this is an excellent set. If you want those deep cuts, if you want the weirdo stuff, if you want all these different genres, it's everything great about Vinegar Syndrome in a box, but you've got to really love the deeper cuts of Vinegar Syndrome. If you've only bought Showgirls and Amityville Horror from Vinegar Syndrome, I love that you're supporting them, but if you haven't watched things like, some of the Trauma movies or Blades from Vinegar Syndrome, you haven't dove deep into like the Devonsville Terror or the Boogeyman or some of their really deep exploitation cuts or some of the early work they did with adult films that they've now moved over to another label. If you've never watched any of the partner label stuff, this could come as a shock to you. However, this was a really, really good price for a pre-order. We're only selling this for 70 or 80 bucks on pre-order. I'm not 100% sure what it goes for right now, but it's a steal considering the work and the time and the effort that went into this. $70, $80 for this box set, even $100 would be well worth it. So if you want to pick this one up, you can use the link in my description. I don't get any kickback there from Vinegar Syndrome at all. It's not an affiliate link. I just love supporting these guys. The one way you can support me is if you use my link to sign up for their rewards program and you get a $5 off coupon. Takes $5 off whatever order. That actually gives me some points and then I can buy more Vinegar Syndrome stuff. So it all goes back to Vinegar Syndrome at the end of the day. But if you sign up with my rewards and get signed up for Vinegar Syndrome rewards at the same time with that bonus code, then it's a win-win for everybody. So huge thank you to Oscar and the team at Vinegar Syndrome for getting me this early, letting me have a chance to watch it, letting me be, literally one of the first people on the planet to see this outside of Vinegar Syndrome and their partners. It was an honor, much appreciated. Love that you guys entrusted this in me. I hope I did it justice, and I highly recommend it for the right person. And I hope that if you guys are that right person, you give this one a try. So thanks for watching this breakdown review unboxing. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like stuff like this and you want more from my channel, make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube, and of course follow me on social media as well. All those links are in the description as well as right here in the QR code. So as always, thank you for watching. Appreciate the support. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy out there, and I will talk to you soon.